I'm going to create a new constant with the name fields that is going to be an object which is going to represent all the inputs we are going to have within our component. I am also going to create a new state variable, and the default value is going to be the feed object I created earlier. I can actually delete this and also delete the password and name handler. Then back to the name handler. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to change this to undo change, which is going to be the generic method we're going to use to undo all inputs. I'm also going to change the password handler to undo change. Another thing I have to do is that I'm going to reference this value with feed.name.value, and I'm also going to reference the password value with feed.password.value. I came across this from feed, the key which is name here, and this value. Also for password, it's the same thing as feed password value, like it is named here. The next thing we need to do is to create the undo change handler I referenced earlier from the input. Inside the undo change handler, we need to get the value and the name of the input currently being filled. We can get this from the event.target. I'm going to extract it and make it a constant. With the name and value of the currently filled form input gotten from the event.target, we can actually update the state fields, which we could do directly. But it will make sense if we get a copy of the fields, which I'm going to do by destructuring the fields, and I'm going to equate it to a new variable, new fields. We then need to use the name to reference the key value and change it to the value gotten from the input. This new fields is going to represent this, and the name is going to be whatever we get from target, which is going to be, for example, name if we are working on the name input. It is also going to be password if we are working on the password. We are saying this password input, enter this and get the value. This is the value here, and let it be equal to the value gotten from the event.target. Note that the key here, which is the key in the feed, must be equal to the name of the input, and this is going to be password. Imagine I actually made a mistake. It's supposed to be password, and let me also change the placeholder to password. So the point is that the name here must be equal to this, and the name here for the first input must be equal to this, like they must be the same thing. We need to update the field with the new updated fields. I am going to remove the alert and console.log the entire feed object, which is going to contain the imputed value on submit. When I navigate to the browser and I open my console, let us fill this form. When I click submit, it is going to console.log the name and its value, the password, and you can see the value. We can make our form handler reusable in such a way that any component can use it by moving it to a custom hook. I'm going to create a new file within our SRC folder called useform.js. The first thing I'm going to do here is to import React from React and declare the constant useform, which is going to take a parameter. Let me export default useform. The parameter is going to take is the fields parameter. The next thing I'm going to do is come here, move everything here to this. We have the field. This is the field that is going to be the parameter here. The undo form is here. The set field is here. Form handler is here. And I'm going to return fields. The reason I'm returning field is that within this input, we reference field. I'm also going to return undo change, and I'm going to return form handler. Back in the app.js, I need to import the use form, and I'm going to use it here. Use form. The parameter is going to take is these fields. We need to get the values that the use form return, which are fields, undo change, and form handler. Currently, we dedicated the work of form handler and undo change to a separate file that is going to be reused throughout the application, and our app.js is now slim. When we navigate to the browser to fill this form, just like we expect in the console, when we click submit, we are going to see the values of the input.